Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this special time together. I've never done a talk before with a mask on, but here we go. Now, I'll take my mask off. Thank you, everyone, for spending this special time with me. If you don't know, our building, where we have our services and classes and offices, is locked, and we can't even get into the building at all. Which means over the past month we've been doing the Wednesday night service and the Sunday morning service here from my desk in my home office, and we all celebrate the talent of Katrina Anderson, who puts this all together and edits it. She is a genius at doing that, and we love her dearly. I don't know what I'd do without her. Anyhow, I want to thank all of you. I really appreciate. As you know, my daughter passed right before Easter, and I can't tell you how touched I have been hearing from so many people. Also, how excited I am that so many people from all over the world are watching this endeavor. We will be doing it every Wednesday, every Sunday morning service, and the Wednesday night, which we have called the Wednesday night forum or the religious science forum, but we've also referred to this evening or the Wednesday night experience, and it is a lesson because I come from the religious science school that says you teach. Dr. Holmes said once, we are teachers, not preachers. My purpose for becoming a religious science minister was to teach religious science to people who wanted to learn as I wanted to learn, and demonstrated some of the best teachers of the 20th century. Dr. Fenwick Holmes, my dear friend and teacher, Dr. Craig Carter, Dr. Bill Hornaday, Dr. Reginald Armour, Dr. Edith Clark. So many wonderful people were there at that time, but there's wonderful people here now for you. I'm one of the last of that period. We're about to celebrate our 45th anniversary here in the Tri-City area, Fremont, Newark, Union City, in California. A number of you have mentioned, and I received an email that asked me to do a lesson on imagination. It's very, very important. Who was it? Walt Disney called it Imagineering. Imagination. Choose you this day. Choose you what? Choose you a self-definition. And remember, your imagination is coming from your self-definition. That's why we're told, with all thy getting, get thee first what? Understanding of the truth of yourself. So, in the creative process of your experience, if you harness an understanding of imagination and how important it is, you begin to realize that deliberate exploration, deliberate mental exploration, deliberate spiritual exploration into a greater understanding, a greater idea, a greater experience. You see, with imagination, behind imagination, many, many times, if you observe yourself, you will discover that behind most imagination is a purpose and often a need. right now there's a need, I'm sure, in your heart and mind. We would like all of this to go away and get out on the street and have everything the way it was. Well, it's not going to be the way it was. And so, what do we need to do? It is here, it is now. My choice is how I'm going to deal with it. I can use my imagination to think up a positive way of experiencing this lockup situation, or I can figure out a way to be unhappy about it. You see, it is pure creativity in the finest sense of the word. That pure creativity doesn't care what you do with it. You can be perfectly happy or perfectly unhappy. Perfection doesn't care. Imagination directs your perfection. Now, most people use their imagination to many times just to expect trouble. They expect trouble to happen to them, and then it happens to them. Remember the lesson of Job. Job said, "The things I feared came upon me," and his lesson was what? I fear no more. I do not use my imagination to come up with reasons why I have to stay in this negative situation. Why not use the imagination to think my way out? I remember Dr. Tom Costa, one of his favorite lessons in teaching was if you're at the bottom of a hole, stop digging. Stop digging. You see, using your imagination in a negative way is just digging the hole deeper. People who complain about things all the time have defined themselves as complainers. They have to fill their life full of things to complain about. Well, there's enough to complain about. Why not be in the minority and look for something to praise? Every lesson you're going to hear, and boy, there's some good stuff on the on the internet right now. I want to say hello to my dear friend Harry Moses. Thank you, Harry, for the video you are putting on. I think it's on Tuesdays. Everybody check it out. Harry Moses, one of the best teachers ever. And Harry teaches what I teach, what Ernest Holmes taught, what Finn McCombs taught, what Charles and Myrtle Fillmore of Unity taught, what Nona Brooks of Divine Science taught, what all New Thought teachers have taught, that there is a power in creating an idea, and this is why, as Maxwell Maltz said in Psycho-Cybernetics, the brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. If that's true, why not direct your thinking and direct your imagination? New goals, new purpose, new concepts to bless the world you're in, to prosper your heart, mind, world. I teach this and have been for 45 years for one reason. I want you to prosper. Michael Beckwith wants you to prosper. Whoever your minister is, Ken Gordon, he wants you to prosper. Angelo wants you to prosper. Allison Benjamin, our wonderful dear president, and Anton wants you to prosper. Why? Because the power within you wants you to prosper. Imagine what you want and then do something. Give it. Give it intense thinking and feeling and affirming. That's what spiritual mind treatment's all about. Now you can visualize if you want to. Visualize it as already taking place. That's vision. Soon, what happens? Ideas will appear. In your consciousness, and if we begin to think about what we think about and observe it, we begin to realize that these new ideas that are coming forth in consciousness in unexpected times and through unexpected channels of understanding, this is what? This is the action of God taking place in your thinking. A creative experience is always a spiritual experience. It will lift your spirits. It will expand your expectations. Your expectations of whatever you seek to demonstrate. Greater good, greater health, greater happiness. In truth, there's nothing to heal. So all we have to do is rearrange the thinking so that the product coming forth, the event manifesting, is something we move into, built by our imagination. Someone called and wanted treatment. They asked for treatment for more money. Now, if you need money, imagine how you would feel to be prosperous. If you are sick, imagine what you'd be doing when you're well. Use your imagination to correct all the negatives in your thinking. That's getting back to something I teach over and over and over again. Think about what you think about. Dr. Holmes pointed out that we are what we think about all day long. Thank you, Emerson. All my students have heard me teach this over and over. Remember, you're the thinker that thinks the thought that becomes the thing. You're not the thing, you're not the thought, you're the thinker. You're moving from God, through God, to God always. The challenge is to let go and let the beautiful happen in your heart, in your mind. Then you can do that for the world. Namaste, the God in me. You reach the God in you. Now, if you change your thinking, the results are going to be amazing. The premise of our science, the science of mind, is to realize that all things are possible to you if you can image them, think them, feel them. You see, life wants you to have all the good you can conceive of having. Life never limits anyone. All limitation is self-limitation, my friends. All limitation is self-limitation. Limited patterns in the subconscious mind will yield to correct imaging. If you change the image, the event will change. It will do, if you have been experiencing and expecting the negative, it will do what? It will shift to the opposite, and the shifting is only a thought away. Now, this success process, you have to remember, is instituted. You need to deliberately do it. This is what spiritual mind treatment is. You are deliberately affirming an answer, a truth. You have to mean business and really control your thinking to make certain it is positive. A half-hearted use of imagination will not bring to pass what you want. So, imagine this morning with me, or this evening with me, or whenever you're watching this, imagine with me how wonderful life can really be, and begin to find it so. My dear friends, all the good there is awaits your imaging it. And quickening its happening. Affirm with me. I expand my good by imaging it to be right now. To be right now. Say it with me. I expand my good by imaging it to be so right now. Namaste. Thank you so much for being with me this evening for our Religious Science in Depth. I want to share with you that, again, our building is locked and we're not able to have the Wednesday night service or the Sunday until the key is turned and we can re-enter the building. If it was a Sunday or a Wednesday, we would at this time during the lesson pass the basket, the love offering, and thank you for it. Well, right now I'm going to pass the metaphysical basket and ask you to think about us as we move through this time period and realize we're always here for you. We're asking you to be here for us, for your wonderful center here, in supporting it as we move back to a new normal. So I bless your love offering and thank you so much for it. I appreciate your love and support, as I know all of our ministers and all of our practitioners and all of our staff appreciate it. We love you and we bless you, and we know this affirmation is good enough to be true. We are prospered now, and so it is. I would like to have you, all of you, with me. Let's close tonight in a very special way. Someone contacted me and requested treatment. They asked to overcome the negative feelings they were having about being locked up. Our treatment was, I am free and mighty. I am free and mighty. What's the old poem, two prisoners looked out of the bars, one saw mud, the other saw stars. What are you seeing? Let's see something special now. As we have a closing treatment, I'm going to speak my word now in first person. Become one with me, and as you hear these words in first person, let them be your way also. As I know I am free and mighty, I know this is true for me, for all of our spiritual family. I know it's true for the entire New Thought movement, as hand in hand as the advancing front edge of clarity, understanding, love, and application of love to the world. we take this opportunity to affirm for all of New Thought and all of mankind, womankind, peoplekind, freedom, mighty freedom. So I know right now that the loving event of infinite intelligence is all sufficient. And it is my life right now. In every place, action and outward doing, I am inwardly free. I am inwardly free and mighty. I am inwardly free and mighty. I am inwardly free and mighty in the truth of myself. I am director and master of my experience, not a servant. The central flame of the universe animates my mind, my thought, my body, and all events of my world. It motivates the positive urgings of my heart to fulfill themselves as the joy of my experience right now, right now, right now. Today I give from a sense of fulfillment. I celebrate the awakening spirit of free-flowing good moving from my consciousness into my world as kindness. As justice, as positive right action. I relax into the greatness of now, and I let myself become a celebration of the lesson of each moment, the lesson that I am forever new in the now. Today, I am infinite opportunity in action. Divine Mind's infallible plan for successful living is the progressive plan for my life. This beautiful plan is my continuous healthy unfoldment. I give thanks, expand, and progress in a positive way. I speak my word now for my daughter who passed, family, my grandson Taylor, my son-in-law Jeff, speak my word for my dear friend Carolyn McEwen, Dr. Carolyn McEwen, one of the finest teachers in New Thought. Right where she is, God is. Knowing what to do and how to do it above and beyond any concern. I speak my word for anyone right now who needs to know and know they know that whatever they affirm is good enough to be true, and the affirmation is now the beautiful unfolding as event. I know that whatever needs to be understood in relationship to the virus experience that the world is moving through, the answer is here. We find it with love and let it be our way. and let this virus experience become history. It's good enough to be true. It's good enough to be now, and so it is and was and shall be forever.